Our guests are arriving on time, to the second.
They always do. And you always act like it's a miracle.
My dear Tattoo, when each guest is paying $50,000 for a 3-day stay on Fantasy Island, he or she deserves miracles.
Right, boss?
Na 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 na. Hey, gotta love that podcast show. Na 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 na. Hey, yeah, I love that podcast show. Oh, BS and beer is the place to go to get all the Saints news. Hell yeah, podcast show. Na 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 na. Hey, gotta love that podcast show. Na 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 na. Hey, yeah, I love your podcast show.
Now, recording live from the SEC Pub, it's the BS and Beer Podcast crew with your host, David Romero.
Welcome back, hour number 2, the BS and Beer Podcast on 97.7 Sports Talk Radio. Heath and Tomas Mauricio, Tyler Kistner on the board. I'm Dave Romero. Listen, wall-to-wall Saints talk. We've already covered a bunch of stuff. Thanks to John Hendricks for coming in from the Canal Street Chronicles. Comes in every week, gives us his thoughts. He's right there. He's on the sideline. He's in the press box. He knows all the ongoings and the things going on that
If
that
we
you
miss
need
it,
to
he
know.
catches it.
That's right. That's right. He's there. He's our inside information. Listen, we talked about, I think we need to do a little bit of this housekeeping to make sure everyone who wants to participate in our Pick'em League can be part of that. So go to Yahoo and then look up the Pick'em League.
Yes,
and the
Pro Pick'em.
Pro Pick'em. There's also an app if you techie guy.
If you use the Yahoo Fantasy Sports app,
right.
and within that, under more games, I think you'll see Pro Pick'em.
All right. So if you want to go to the app, all right. So then the number.
There you go. You got the little red thing at the top. There you
The
go.
league number is 37909, and the password is BS and beer. Okay, so use those things to join the league, be part of it. Now, last year we had some prizes, and we may have some prizes this year, but I'm not committing to it yet. We talking to a couple of people who might throw something down on it. So, last year I think what we do, first place won $75 and $50 and $25 or whatever. This year I'm not coming out of my pocket. No,
Not so much.
They didn't let me write that off my taxes, so
No.
y'all take that up with the IRS. So
We have a full
And now, what
bottle.
about the Fantasy League thing?
Okay, so let's talk about the Fantasy League. If you go to NFL.com, we have another Fantasy League. Now, this is, obviously Pick'em is picking the games. Fantasy, there's no draft. You go in, you pick whatever starters you want to pick for that week. I think it does quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, tight
It's
end.
eight players.
Eight players. And then theoretically, you can pick the same people that several other people
Right.
through the course
It's not
of
a
the year.
head-to-head weekly thing. It's a
cumulative-
cumulative thing over the whole season.
Right. So you can join that. You can go to my Twitter account. It's @SaintsBS, and all the login information for the Pick'em League and the Fantasy League is right there. Or you can send us an email at bsandbeer@icloud.com, and I'll be happy to direct you, send you a link. I'll cut and paste the information I already have on my phone, send you an email back so you can join the league, compete against us. Man, we love it all year long. We talk about it, all the different things going on, who's winning, who's in first place, who finished first this week. Get your name on the radio,
Yep.
on
All
the
in the
podcast.
graffiti hotline and do some bragging.
Yeah, that's right. Bragging rights. That's what it's
Yeah.
all about. So, all right. So when we left off earlier in the first hour.
Wait a second, Dave.
All right.
Yeah, Heath said he wanted to correct or talk about the weakest position group.
Okay, the week.
Well,
Oh, that's right.
weakest
Oh, yeah.
position.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you asked that, and I said offensive line, but that's as a whole grouping, including the reserves. If we're talking about starter, I'm going to have to say tight end still. As much as I love Ben Watson, we didn't, along with all the other starters, he didn't really do anything this preseason. We didn't see him. Another year older. long term, over the course of the entire season, how is he able to hold up? Because if he goes down, we don't have a lot at the tight end position, unfortunately.
Well,
You know,
we had a young
Hill
guy.
just hasn't shown anything. And
I don't want to disagree with what you just said. The thing is, I think Hill's shown what he is.
right.
A solid player.
Right.
He's not a bad player. He's just not a game changer. He's not going to do anything to, to change the game. But on occasion, he has made plays. In the playoffs, he turned into a different player.
yeah,
So,
well, that's true.
It started with the Washington game.
and he made plays there
He
as well.
changed the Washington game.
The point is, yes, I agree that he's not a game changer, but he's a solid NFL tight end. So is Ben Watson, the guy that was a surprise addition to the roster.
Not to me, but go ahead.
No.
Well, go ahead, Arnold.
Arnold?
He's
I
a guy.
told you that.
I know you liked him. I thought it was a little bit of I don't know. I mean, he needs it. Just to me, it shows the lack of depth at tight end because not that he can't be a good player, but I mean, it's like, yeah, well, he just needs to add on 20, 30 pounds. Well, that's part of the development process.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
and I think, he just changed because if you will recall, last season he was trying out as a wide receiver, got hurt, injured reserve, whatever it was, and he came back, and they told him when he came back, you know what, son, you'd have a better chance to make this team if you swap over to tight end. That's how it all started.
So
then-
wait, hold on a second. Now you telling me because I don't really even know who the guy was till he made a team and I
Last
started
year he
doing.
was on his team.
He was on as a wide receiver.
That's correct.
I did not know that.
And
They're
got
like,
injured.
Go eat a biscuit. Well, that's the development. Last year they said go eat a biscuit, and he got up to about 220.
Yeah. That's
So
right,
now if he goes eat some more Popeyes, he'll be up to about 240 and be
Yeah.
able to contribute.
The
And-
thing is, no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that what he lacks now is not the understanding the plays. It's not the pass catching. What he needs to develop is blocking technique. There's a big difference between standing up as a wide receiver and getting down in a three-point stance as a tight end. And that's where he's lacking.
Yeah.
So that will come. I really don't think he needs even much more muscle or weight. Maybe another 10 pounds. I don't think it's quite that much. But it's really technique. He does not have the technique down for blocking from the tight end position.
Yeah.
Well,
No, that's all. In the meantime, he showed so much potential as a receiver.
Yeah, you
And he's got
have
great size and everything. And quite frankly, I think the Saints knew they had to keep him around or they were going to lose him.
Yes,
and
I
look,
agree.
he showed some talent. He obviously has soft hands and catches the ball extremely well. He made a play up the seam. Taysom Hill threw a fantastic
perfect.
ball,
Yep.
and he made a very athletic catch. And at the end of the day, I mean, there are a lot of guys who make NFL teams that can make plays like that. They may not be able to block. You won't see them in there on first down unless they spread them out. But listen,
Jimmy Graham.
what team? Yeah, Jimmy. What team is better at taking a tight end that can't block and put him in a position to be successful?
Now you finally hit the nail on the
Yeah,
head.
Right.
There you
yeah.
go.
Right.
There
So,
you go.
so that's the thing I see about Arnold being a guy that I didn't expect to make the team, but in hindsight, I don't think it was groundbreaking because of the fact that the Saints just simply don't have a lot of depth. I mean, it was a glaring weakness all offseason. And
Yeah,
we
well, that
I was
is
beating
true.
I was
That's-
beating a drum and still just never happened. So let's talk a little bit more about these cuts that we either expected or didn't expect. And so one of them is Williams, the running back.
Yeah.
I
This
think
is-
everybody had it penciled in that he was going to be the replacement for Ingram for
Yes.
the
And literally, I think everybody. I mean, I think it shocked everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't- he
all
got
the
cut.
pundits,
Well,
were-
y'all still shocked because I'm waiting for some commentary, and you're like, yeah.
Well, I mean, what can you say?
He got cut.
During the 4 games of the preseason, he played, and he looked.
He
to
looked
be a
solid.
player.
Played
He
well.
looked like
He
he was a
played
player.
well.
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
You know, so someone you could depend on. And Drew had made the comment that he felt comfortable with him in there because he felt he knew the blocking schemes.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, to me, that's one of the biggest surprises in him getting cut. Absolutely, no doubt about it.
One of the things that I was disappointed in is the last preseason game. There was a run to the edge, and made a nice play, bounced it out. You could see he had the corner, and then all of a sudden, he just never really made an effort to get in the end zone. He scored a touchdown. And
Well,
Well,
they gave him a
gave him
touchdown.
They gave him a
Yeah,
touchdown.
yeah,
The
yeah.
point is that I wonder, I can't help but wonder if maybe he was shoot in and it was like on the cusp and the coaches were like, yeah, he's going to be.
And then Sean Payton had a conniption fit.
That play right there, just to me, it just
Let's see your
demonstrated.
shoes. What shoes are you wearing?
You're right.
Remember?
And it's like, put your foot in the ground and turn upfield. There's no way
Yeah.
that defensive back was going to be able to tackle you. But instead, he lollygagged to the pylon.
Or just put the ball in the left hand.
No, that was another thing.
I mean, literally, if he had put the ball in the left hand, it would have been a touchdown.
There were
Because
several
he even
as
stuck
well.
it out the wrong
Yeah,
way.
there were several. He literally stuck the ball to the right. He was going to the right, stuck it out to the right,
Yeah.
and put it outside the pylon, and they gave him a touchdown.
And
which,
it didn't help that he bobbled the 2-point conversion after
right
that. I mean, in back-to-back plays, it was,
I
not
don't know.
good.
I truly wonder if that didn't say something to coach to say, look, this kid's just not ready.
But they hand Edmonds the ball and he gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we talked about that run
So
too.
if you're gonna look at the two guys, you're
But
like,
Edmonds is a special teams player. I don't think he ever made the team because of his running back prowess.
I think he made the team because of his versatility. I think that's what it is.
Well,
that he could
look,
play.
When we say made the team, that was a
Well,
short-lived.
yeah.
I mean,
He
Well,
briefly
he made
made
the final cut.
he made the
Right.
final cut.
just to live for one day.
Live
Right.
for that.
Okay.
You know, man, you almost got to feel. Let's talk about that. You got to feel bad for a guy that he doesn't get the call. They don't tell him to bring his playbook. You go into the meeting room. You kick your feet up, and you're like, I made it, man. I made it.
Yep.
Hey, coach needs you to bring your playbook. Like, damn it.
Yep.
Well, that would be Stupar.
Yeah.
Well,
Because he even, he sent out, because he's on my Twitter feeds, right? So he sent out his tweet, God is great. Here it is. I made it back. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
And that the rest of his teammates were like, man, because he's a special team guy.
right.
And so all of a sudden, the next day, it's like,
Yeah, tap on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Bring your playbook.
Yeah.
Golly.
hey, what happened to my nameplate on my locker?
All right. So here's the draft picks that made the cut. Okay. Marcus Davenport, our first round draft pick guy. Traquan Smith, the receiver, third rounder. Then you have the 6th rounder, Boston Scott,
Yeah, my
Northern
boy.
Louisiana. You
There
know
you go.
what we
There
talking
you
about. All right. And Will Clapp, the LSU kid,
Yeah.
offensive lineman. They made the team. Cut. Natrell Jamerson, Cameron Moore, and Rick Leonard. Now, to me, okay,
That's
the
the
way
4th, the 5th, and the 6th round
right,
draft pick.
all the kids in the defensive backfield, I couldn't help but wonder, why did they draft so many DBs when it looked like we were pretty deep? And that was before I even saw the improvement of some of those guys on the back end of the roster as defensive backs.
Yeah.
But, man, there just wasn't any room for them. And all the hand-wringing, I want to say this, all the hand-wringing we do every year, and I kind of joke about it. Oh, man, we can't cut these guys, man. These guys aren't going to – they'll never clear – they always clear waivers.
Yeah.
They always clear waivers.
See, that's what Dave said to me in the last show. If you will recall,
Okay,
go
so the
listen to
first
last
year.
show, and you will hear Dave make fun of me, right? Well, Tomas, you say that every year. Right? I said, dude, I'm telling you, we're going to cut people. They're going to be paid. Oh, you say that every year. You're full of – you know what? Okay, so what happened, Dave? You wanna get
Well, okay, so first year ever, these, I mean, all of them get picked up.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Mohammed was a guy that we cut him. It's like, but he gets picked up.
Got picked
Both
up,
the what is it, 5th and 6th round draft pick, Moore and Jamerson
Yeah.
picked up.
Yep.
And then the guy that I thought, well,
Yeah.
Rick Leonard. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Rick Leonard, he was a 4th round draft pick. He was a converted defensive end, and well, a lot of people thought he was overdrafted, but a lot of people also said he has a lot of talent, and so it was a
Many teams
controversial.
said he'd be gone in the 5th. That
Yeah,
was
right.
the real
So the Saints may have
consensus out
drafted.
there.
Well, the thing about it is because of all the raw talent and teams that like, hey, we need offensive linemen. That was the guy I thought somebody's going to pick him up and put him on the roster just because maybe next year he'll be a solid offensive lineman. Nope, he's the guy that makes it through the waivers and gets put on the Saints practice squad. So there's a little recap of our draft picks. Tomas, anybody in those draft picks that made it that you think shouldn't have, or vice versa? I mean, who would you have kept if you could keep somebody, and who would you have let go? In other words, if you're going to keep one of those young defensive backs, who you letting go?
I probably
I'd tell
would
you
have
who.
kept Jamerson if I could have.
Okay, so you keep Jamerson. I like him too.
Okay.
Who you getting rid of?
Well, you asked me if we could have. Now you have to listen to my rant to find out.
Oh,
how we could
okay.
have.
So
Okay, so I'll give you just a little heads up.
Just
The
a
rant
taste.
will explain some of these things.
all right,
But go
next
ahead.
segment. Heath, same question. Who
Who am I
keep-
letting go?
Who are you keeping from these guys that got cut? And if you keep them, who are you going to let go to take
Well,
his
it's
place?
I have the same answer. I would keep Jamerson.
That's the only
and
one.
I would have cut the surprise guy in JT Gray.
JT Gray. There's another
Who's
surprise
still
guy.
on the team.
Well, okay. So as we find out more about JT Gray, he's
And
a
as
special,
soon as we
he's
found
a special teams guy.
but when he found out he made the team and everything, I remember thinking, He's the first guy gone as soon as they make some other move.
And
Right.
it wasn't.
And it wound up being Stupar, of all people.
Right, and Stupar has like this all-world game. It's preseason. We get it. But my God, if you're watching the last preseason game against the Rams, Stupar, I mean, what do you have, like a sack or three sacks,
it was something
an
crazy.
interception,
Yeah,
like
forced
9
fumble,
solo tackle,
I mean,
fumble. I mean, you're just sitting there like, who is this guy? Him and Robertson. Now, Robertson didn't have a stat line.
He's
just a
he has
beast.
beasted this preseason. He played well for us last year, Robertson. But Stupar has also played well when asked in the past before he was hurt.
And he was injured most of last season.
And he's a good special. He's not the guy that I would have expected. I would have expected Gray. When they signed Gillisley, I immediately thought he's taking Edmonds' place.
Right.
Okay, well, then it turned out Edmonds went second when
Laribas
walked back in the door. But, yeah, I mean, just, I don't know, surprising to me.
So we have a minute. Real quick, let's talk about the Laribas thing. Now, Laribas was cut, and I think that the Saints were just playing a little waiver wire.
Is this?
Yeah.
What's that? The
Contract, veteran
Little
contract.
guaranteed
Well, here's the
contract.
thing. Is Andres Pete, I'm hearing rumors that he might have a hip injury, not necessarily something that keeps him out the whole season, but a little hip injury. And,
Shocker.
And who's going to start? Is it going to be Laribas? Is it going to be
But that makes it even worse at tackle.
Yeah.
That's true. There's your backup tackle right there. Unless we pull an old Leonard off the practice squad. I don't
actually
see
like Wozniak better.
You like Wozniak's potential?
Potential, yes, definitely.
We'll see. I mean, he's long. He's another one. He needs to eat a couple
Because
of
the thing
biscuits
they
from
say
Popeyes.
is that the thing they say is that Leonard doesn't have a good work ethic. That's the thing that they
Right.
are
Now,
talking about.
I hope that it when he got cut, I hope that was the thing that really slapped
you
him in the
never know.
face.
You never know.
Well,
That's why I like Wozniak.
Wozniak, hard worker.
Yep.
All right.
Lots of raw talent there. 7-footer.
7-footer. And the intramural basketball team, he could be
Yeah.
a contributor there. You want
Yeah.
to make sure that you got your
Yeah.
You got right players there. Yeah.
So
And come December, he can move over and play some with the Pelicans.
There
right
you
there in
go.
town.
and the Pelicans need help. They get
Yeah.
injured quite a bit themselves, right? Right?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, anyway, 97.7 Sports Talk Radio. When we come back, it's a Tomas rant. You've been waiting for it all off season. It's finally here. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back. It's the BS and Beer Podcast crew. Dave Romero, Heath Elson-Son, Tomas Mauricio, Tyler Kistner on the board, 97.7 Sports Talk Radio. What you've been waiting for all off season. I'm telling you, people don't understand. If you haven't heard it before, it's
Well, I did a little bit last week.
It's sweeping the nation. All the kids around campus are talking about it.
That's right.
It's a big deal. It's a Tomas rant.
It's a Tomas rant.
That's right. I don't want to hear these facts.
Daddy, she's gonna blow!
I have opinions.
I got a nuke coming in. It's going to blow in less than a minute.
That don't mean anything to me. My opinion overranks the fact, okay?
It's gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up.
And she will. It is a mathematical certainty.
Indubitably. All right. Now I put on the real game face now. Quit joking around.
Now they can see the video, so
Yeah,
you can't
okay.
be making those faces.
Well, there you go. All right. Although I do have a joke for later that we can all die out. All right. But now, being serious, here is my rant. What the hell happened with these cuts? Well, let me explain it to you. One idiot on our team. That's right. I'm going to call it out the way that it is. Whether you like it or you don't. If you don't like it, here it is. Mark Ingram. What the hell were you thinking? Because of your, I'll be nice, foolishness, we had to endure all kinds of strange cuts and all kinds of stuff. The running back situation would have never become what it's become had you not messed up with your PED. Okay? Here we go. How many guys did we go through? We got West, come and gone. Vereen, injured reserve. Not really, but we'll make believe that he is. Okay. You know. Is that Ben Vereen, the guy from Hollywood? Anyway, we got these people coming, going. Williams gets cut, gets picked. Luckily, we got him back on the practice squad. Okay. All for what? Dude, you did great last year. You took this team because of you. I give you your props, man. Because of your hard work, Kamara was able to run. You were able to run. The team pushed it all the way to the end. Fantastic. Now you're out for 4 games. For 4 games, you have completely messed up our offensive system. That's correct. Because as much as I love Boston Scott, he's not ready. He's not ready for prime time. He's ready for backup and occasional, dart here and there. And you're going to put all that load on Kamara. What if Kamara gets hurt because of your stupidity? Did you think that through? No, you didn't think that through. You were too busy. Yeah. That's the whole thing. We're walking around. Dude, what do I care about your guns? I care about this team. Do you? Now, I know a lot of people are going to be upset with me. Man, Tomas, I can't believe you're ragging on Ingram. Hey, I rag on whoever does something that hurts this team. I'm upset that Stupar got cut. I'm upset that we had to shuffle people around in the backfield. For what reason? Gillespie. My good friend Heath sent me a text saying, not the answer. What did you say, 5 teams in 4 years or something like that, Heath? Yeah, he's not the answer. So, he's the answer for 4 weeks. Big deal. You sign him to a 1-year contract for him to play 4 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, I don't even know he's the answer for 4 weeks. But.
Exactly. As far as I'm concerned, why bother? Put Boston Scott in there. That's easy to me. But no, we had to allow some guy to say, well, I don't know. I thought it was an airhead. Really? So my rant is just simply this. Ladies and gentlemen of the New Orleans Saints, mostly gentlemen because I'm talking about the team, wake up! Make sure you don't mess up. We're in a good position. We're in a position to make a big, giant push towards, you know what? Super Bowl. So don't mess up, please. If you got to take something, here's what you do. Don't go to Oshner. We don't need to find out from them. They obviously don't know what the hell the right answer is. Okay? Instead, don't even go to the trainer, because the trainer might go, hey, yeah, whatever. No, don't do that either. I actually know one of the trainers, so I shouldn't say that. All right. Instead, here's what I'm going to tell you. Go to the coach. Go right to the main man and say, hey, coach, I'm feeling kind of down. I'm thinking about taking this stuff. And when you show it to the coach and coach says, are you stupid? Then oh, never mind, coach, in a garbage can. If you got the sniffles, buy a box of Kleenex for God's sake, okay? I mean, really. We're on the cusp, gentlemen. Let's push it through. Let's get another ring for Drew and another ring for each one of us, including this fabulous team right here. There you go. That's my rant for this day. God bless America.
That's a Tomas rant.
To get on
So-
with the show.
Heath?
Oh, well, so, I agree with you 100%. This kind of goes back to the world we live in today with personal responsibility. At the end of the day, I don't care if it was something that, look, let's be honest. I think the drug policy and the PED thing with the NFL is a complete screw up anyway. Yeah. And it's hard for anybody to know what they should or can or can't take or what's in this or what's in that or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's about personal responsibility, and the bottom line is Mark Ingram is responsible for what happened to Mark Ingram.
That's correct.
Now, as far as all these other players go, Vereen on IR, bringing in, is it Gillespie? Gillespie? What the hell is it? Whichever one it is, okay? Signing Jonathan Williams, who he's every bit as much the answer is
I don't understand the whole picking him up and put him on a developmental squad.
Right. So, but they signed him back to the event. Then they signed the guy from Washington, Dwayne Washington, that used to play with Detroit, who hasn't moved the needle in all of the time he's been.
I need to send Gary a note to find out.
I'm going to suggest that this isn't just about the first 4 games. The Saints are not that concerned about the first 4 games without Ingram, especially when you have Kamara on the bench. It's not like we don't have anybody. Yeah. Drafting Boston Scott would be another a move in this. I think the Saints are keeping these people around. They're building up for a Ingramless future. Yeah. Right? Because Ingram's at the end of his contract.
Hot take.
And look, it's for multiple reasons.
Breaking news from the BS and Beer news desk.
That's breaking news right there. Hey, so the Saints are gearing up for a...
They are. And it's for multiple reasons. It's not just because he screwed up for this 4 games.
Hey, when we come back, we got to touch on that some more. But we got to take a quick break. 97.7 Sports Talk Radio. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It's the BS and Beer podcast crew. Listen, 97.7 Sports Talk Radio. It is time for the Pick'em League. Matter of fact, if you're watching the VCast, you can see the instructions on how to get into the league. But for those of you who are visually impaired, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. What? Oh,
go ahead.
All right. So
Says the man wearing
the
glasses.
league ID.
Can you see it?
I can see it. I got my
okay.
glasses on. I got tired of squinting, so I put my glasses on.
All right.
I can't. I got to quit fighting it. Just
Yeah.
embrace the horror. All right. The league ID. It's Yahoo Fantasy Sports Pro Pick'em. Okay. The ID number 37909. That's the number the league that uniquely identifies the league, and the password is BSANDBEER, and that's all lowercase. So BSN Beer is the password, and the league ID 37909. Please get out there, join the league.
Yep.
It's so much more fun when we have a bunch of people to play with, and we can talk about it, and we can, I can more people that I feel like I'm helping them like build their personal wealth.
There you go.
They might take my advice, go out and bet some money, pay their mortgage, put their kids through college, and then it gives me a feeling of
welfare and food stamps, which
personal accomplishment.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So let's get to the pick'em. Welcome back. It's the BS and Beer podcast crew. It's Heath San, Tomas Mauricio. I'm Dave Romero. Listen, it's wall-to-wall Saints talk. This is normally the segment where we do our NFC South report. Right now, not a whole bunch to report other than a whooping that's going to happen in the Superdome. I heard people, and I think it might have been Sirius NFL Radio, predicting the demise of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
They picked 6 wins. They said, you know what, I think with the new coordinator and a lot of transition, and I think that their window kind of that was their speculation.
Well, now they picked up offensive tackle because they didn't have anybody. If you think we're in a bad way, they had nobody.
Well, I don't think we're in a bad way at all.
And they picked up the guy that Gary said from Detroit.
Right.
Was getting what's his name killed all the time.
The quarterback Stafford.
Yeah.
Look, I think the Panthers. I think there's going to be a drop off. I think the Bucks and the Panthers are both going to be 6, maybe 7 win or under team.
Yeah.
Atlanta, think that they're going to be a
up
little
there.
bit more of
they'll have double-digit wins.
They'll be competition. They just too much talent on that team.
Yeah.
Their defense is fast. I do not believe, and believe me, I'm trying not to say this with Homer glasses on. I don't think they're on the Saints level. Having said that, the level's not so much higher that if the Saints come and play a B game,
Right.
and Atlanta plays an A game, that they can't win.
Right.
So,
But injuries too. You never know.
That matter of fact, if you recall, was it the first Atlanta game?
Yes,
and Kamara
we
went
lost
out.
Kamara.
Yeah,
Yep.
we lost, and we also, I know some people would argue it probably didn't make much of a difference, but Klein went out injured. We got beat up really bad in that game, a Thursday night game, short week, and boy, it's just they were falling just left and right with the injuries.
Yeah.
Man, wasn't there a guy? Maybe it was it Ingram that went to the sidelines?
It was.
I mean, it was just
Kamara
like
got out. Ingram went to the sidelines, and then we're like, well, now who's going to play running back?
right. It was just like there was some issues.
Let's hope
with,
that maybe this is our year to not have the
too many.
We've been dealing with so many injuries
Last
over the
year
last
was
several
horrific.
years.
Yeah.
and it's probably a bigger issue than anything else would be a team that stays physically healthy.
Yeah.
Hasn't
And
invented.
at the same time, I can't really think of, I think Atlanta has stayed pretty healthy.
So they're due. Get knocked around a little bit. They're due.
Maybe,
I don't wish
let's hope.
anybody anything wrong. I just say let's make sure that we don't have a problem.
Right.
But I will say this: I think that as we talked before, our drop off from 1 to 2 is not quite as huge as before
in some areas.
So
Right.
So we might be able to stand a little bit more this year than last year.
Well, and I mean, last year I do recall, and I'm not saying that. Thinking to myself, the places where we got injured, we did have at least potential guys. Like we got beat up at defensive end, but we still had some guys that were decent players. And Hendrickson is a guy that he still need a lot of development, but at the end of the day, he wasn't a bum. You know what I'm saying? He's linebacker was another. We had some issues, and we weren't the more I think about it, linebackers probably more of we weren't that good to begin with. So when the backup came in, it wasn't a big drop off.
Right. I mean, I love Marty. He played with such heart and intensity, but Let's face facts. He was not.
Didn't belong on the field, not on the NFL field. All right, so let's take a couple of these hotline calls.
All right.
Because I think that that we need to get to them. We had a bunch of people
What's
call
that number
in.
again?
701-901-1295. You're
right.
always on that. I like
Yes,
that, man. I like that.
Hey,
There we go.
right.
We love that podcast.
Remember, that's the key phrase. Whenever you call in, you have to always end your call with.
I love that podcast.
There you go.
Well, we kind of already talked about this with Jonathan Williams. He said he was surprised. Certainly, we're all surprised by that.
Yeah.
The first 4 games, we got Gillespie, Boston Scott, and Kamara.
Nice.
And of course Ingram will be back, but I don't know. Go ahead.
I was going to say Gillespie. Am I saying that right?
Leslie.
Gillespie.
I've researched. He's a power back, and I think they're looking for somebody to run the ball in short yardage, first down, goal line. Tomas, maybe he's
not the answer. But
I'm not saying he's the answer, but he doesn't need to be. He's just a stopgap.
So as far as statistics on him, I think somebody put it up on Twitter. He's 68% success rate on 3rd and 4th and short, and he scored, I think, was it 10 or 12 touchdowns inside of the 10-yard line in the last 2 years. So that's his forte.
Yeah,
so
except the coach said we only use him on 1st and 2nd down.
Well,
that's what coach said.
Yeah.
He's a guy that might only have like 220 yards rushing in his entire career in 5 years, but has 27 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So
I think he only literally has like 1,200 yards rushing in a 5-year
not much.
career or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway.
all right. I mean, so we appreciate all the hotline calls. 701-901-1295. Also the email bsandbeer@icloud.com. Don't forget to join our Pick'em League. That's Yahoo. The league ID 37909. BS and beer is the password. Y'all join in, have some fun with us. When we come back, it's time for our Pick'em League. Listen, mybookie.com sponsors our Pick'em League.
That's right.
You should come in, join the league. Maybe you can win some. Well, I don't know. We haven't even determined if there's prizes yet. 97.7 Sports Talk Radio. Ha! All right, time for the pick'em. Oh man, it went away. Where'd it go? Okay. Let's see. There it is, the pick'em. I got to click on it. Yeah, all this technology. That's why I'm trying to be easy with the folks that
Apple phone. What can I tell
all right, here we go. So we're gonna start it off. I'll call you out. You let us know. First game is a Thursday night game. What a great game to start the season off.
Yep.
Falcons at the Eagles. The Eagles are giving up 1 point. Heath?
I'm going to take the Eagles and give up the 1.
Okay.
Same here.
All right.
Yep. Eagles.
You going Eagles? I'm going to go Eagles myself.
Better.
Moving on. Steelers at the Browns. The Browns are getting 3.5 points. What say you there, Heath?
Not enough. I'm taking the Steelers and laying the 3.5.
Not me. I'm going to break the tradition here. I think Cleveland's for real this year. I'm taking the Browns on a 3.5.
Tyler?
I'm taking Steelers, man. I don't think Cleveland's ready for that free beer yet.
Hey, listen, free beer. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Browns too.
There you go.
It's all the preseason hype. It's the what do you call it? The hard knocks. I'm going with them. All right,
Yeah.
Bengals at the Colts. Colts 2.5 points. They're giving to the Bengals. Heath.
I'm going to take the Bengals and the 2.5.
All right.
I'm going to take the Dolts and give up the 2.5.
Tyler.
Yeah, Colts.
All right, I'm going Bengals. All right, moving on. We have the Titans at the Dolphins. No line at this point.
The Titans.
The Titans, all right.
Me too. I go with the Titans.
Yeah, Titans until Miami proves something.
Yep.
I'm going with the Dolphins, man. I'm going with the Dolphins.
Going with the
I'm going
fish.
against the
All
flow. 49ers at the Vikings. Squeaky, squeaky. Yeah. 49ers at the Vikings. The Vikings giving up 7.5 points. They no longer have Casey Kasem. So, Heath.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Vikings and give up the 7.
All right. Tomas.
If they were playing in San Francisco, I'd take the 49ers, but they're playing in Minnesota, so I'm taking the Vikings.
What you say, producer?
Hey, Minnesota. I don't think 7's enough. I mean, Minnesota all the way.
Minnesota all the way. I'm going with the 49ers. I'm going with the 49ers. I'm going against the grain. I'm going to take them 7 points.
He's digging that hole.
Garoppolo gonna
Digging that hole.
Hey, he ain't lost yet as a starter.
But
He
they
ain't
lost their
yet.
starting running back.
Yeah. All right, Texans at Patriots.
Maybe you didn't know that. Okay.
No, I didn't actually. So
I'm going to take the Patriots and give up the 7 at home.
okay,
I'm agreed to that.
Tyler.
Yeah, New England's a tough place to win, so I'm going with New England.
I'm going with the Texans. I'm going.
Look at Dave.
He's trying to make a statement.
He's distancing himself early.
Now, I'm just look. I got to create some separation. That's how you make the big bucks, baby. You can't play it safe. All right. Then we got the Giants, the Jaguars at the Giants, and the Giants are getting 3 points. What you say, Heath?
That's not enough. I'm going to take the Jags on the road and give up the 3.
I'm taking the Jaguars.
Tyler.
I'm with the Jags defense on this one. Jaguars all the way.
Yeah, I'm Jaguars. We got to sweep. Okay, so now we have the Bills at the Ravens. The Ravens giving up 8.5 points.
This is likely to be a snore fest, but I'm going to take the Ravens and give up the 8.5 at home.
Wow, we're on the same wavelength. Same thing again. I'll take the Ravens as well.
Yeah, I'm with Heath. I think this will be a snore fest. I'm not sure 8.5 points will be scored.
That's a good.
But I'm taking the Ravens.
I'm taking the Bills, man. The Ravens. What in the world makes the Ravens 8.5 points better than any team?
The
really?
Bills.
Snead, Willie
the Bills.
Snead. Oh wait, I got to change my pick. I forgot about old Willie Snead. All right, Chiefs at the Chargers. The Chargers are giving up 3 points. Yeah. So Heath.
Man, you know what? This one was a tough one for me. I guess I'm going to take the Chargers at home and give up the 3.
Same here. Chargers at home. Give up the 3.
Producer.
I'm going with the Chiefs on this one. I think they can win on the road.
All right, I'm taking the Chargers. All right. The Sea Chickens at the Broncos.
There you go.
2.5 points. The Broncos are given to the Seahawks. What you say, Heath?
I'm going to take the Broncos in Mile High and give up the 2.5.
Okay.
I'm taking the Broncos because they named the starting running back the guy that's on one of my sleepers on my fantasy team. There you go.
All right. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
And I'm Seahawks too.
All right. Let's see. Redskins at the Cardinals.
How inappropriate of you.
And that's another pick'em game right now. Heath?
I'm going to take the Cards.
Okay.
Me too. I can't go with the Native Americans, so I'll go with the Cards.
All right.
I'm going Washington and Dave's old friend, Adrian Peterson.
Oh, AP, man, you guys, it's like bringing back old memories, like pulling the sodas out of that machine where you start the Coke machine. Never mind. All right,
sharing that po' boy.
I'm gonna go with sharing that po' boy. Our hands kind of touched when handed it to him. All right, it's just those memories kind of make me sad.
You
all right,
and me,
all right.
and me and you. Oh, sorry, guys.
I'm going with the Redskins myself. Let's see, Cowboys at the Panthers.
Oh my God!
The Panthers giving up 2.5 points. Heath.
As much as it absolutely pains me,
Painful.
I'm going to have to take the Scanthers and give up the 2.5.
As much as it absolutely pains me, I'll have to take the Cowgirls and the 2.5.
Producer Tyler.
Yeah, I think Zeke and Dak get it done. Dallas.
You know, I tell you what. Yeah, Cowboys.
There you go.
How about them Cowboys? All right. All right. So Bears at the Pack. The Pack giving up 9 points. Now the Bears just traded for a guy who's going to completely shut down the Packers passing game. So I don't know why the line would still be 9 points, but
yeah. This will probably change, but as it sits right now, I'm going to actually take the Bears in the 9.
Oh,
me too. I'm taking the Bears in the 9.
Tyler.
I'm going with the line, Green Bay.
Okay, I'm going with the Bears myself.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, boy, by the time that game actually arrives, I know I'm not going to get 9 points. So I'm going to have to revisit.
Yeah,
revisit
that one. Yeah.
Sunday night in Green Bay will be cold.
All right, so it's the Jets at the Garys.
That's
the
right.
Gary Lions.
Gary Lions.
And that's negative. The Lions are giving up 7 points to the Jets, Jets.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take the Fighting Garys and give up the 7.
All right.
I agree with that. I'll take Detroit.
Yep, Detroit.
Now, keep in mind, too, that we're all going to be at Gary's house watching the game
Yeah.
on Monday night. You can't be pulling against him because he gets very upset.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's a sweep. We all picking the Lions. And then the other Monday night game, the Rams at the Raiders. And 4 points that the Raiders are giving up, are getting.
Yeah.
So what do you say?
Now, I think the Rams are going to come in, and I'll take the Rams and give up the 4.
All right.
I'm going to go against tradition here. I'm going to go against there's something about Chucky. So I'm going to go with the Raiders and the 4 points.
Tomas and I are on the same wavelength. I'm going because of John Gruden out there,
Yep.
Oakland.
All right. Well, I'm going with the Rams. And now the marquee game of the week, as I scroll to where it was in the middle, but I want to save it for last, so I got to find Who the Saints playing? Oh, yeah. The Buccaneers in New
Yuccaneers.
Orleans. The Saints, 10.5-point favorites.
Yep.
Heath,
Yep.
do they have a shot?
They have a shot.
They have a
Saints
shot.
at home in the dome. No crab legs. I'm taking the Saints and giving up the 10.5 to the Yuccaneers.
Who that? I'm
dat?
taking my Saints.
All right,
Giving up
Tyler.
those 10.5.
Biggest line of the day, but I'm gonna go with the Saints as well.
Good choice, Tyler. You've acclimated yourself to the
Oh,
program
first
quite
pick. No, I
nicely.
think I got that one right.
All right. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I kind of see a whooping coming on, and I can't imagine the Saints losing this game. Backup quarterback. Matter of fact, I don't know if they have a better chance without Jameson
They
playing.
have a
in
better
the-
chance
Yeah.
if they play RG4.
RG4?
No?
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm hoping they play the Harvard boy.
The Harvard. Well, that's
Right,
that's
so
who I think
we'll
is
pick
playing.
up. Marcus Williams will have an interception in this game. I'm calling it out right
There you
now.
go. There you
All
go.
right.
He's a
There
hot
it is.
take. Any final thoughts, Heath?
I got nothing.
I got nothing. All right. Tomas.
I'm fired up. Let's go. Saints.
Hey, listen, it's exciting. It's time for some football. Don't forget, be part of the pick'em. Man, look, go in there. Yahoo, the number is 37909. BS and beer is the password. Join the league. Come have some fun with us.
Absolutely.
It's going to be great.
Yep.
It's going to be a great season. We look forward to talking to you guys every week. Don't forget to send us some emails, bsandbeer@icloud.com. Thanks for all the people.
Follow us on Twitter.
John Hendricks came in, helped us out, talked to Little Saints. All the people who sent us some graffiti hotline, 701-901-1295. Be part of the show. We enjoy it. Come follow us on Twitter. All that good stuff.
Next week I'll have the wallet ready. So get your
That's
Bitcoin
right.
ready.
Oh, man, we went a whole show almost with no Bitcoin.
You know what?
97.7. Talk to you next week.
Later.
The person who sits here is but the most conspicuous member of a superb team of journalists.